What is up, good people of the internet? How are you doing? I'm Dharma, and this is going to be your daily podcast. Is that what this is? Or is it a vlogcast? What do you call this thing that we do? It's a show. It's an hour-long chit-chat about life and things you might be able to expect, and I do it by way of telling several stories that you may or may not be able to expect to play out in some way, shape, or form between now and the next time that we do this. Does that make sense? What's up, Joy? Blanche, my OG Blanche. Okay, serious question. Raise of hands for how many people, when they hear OG, I want to know what you think it is. Tell me in the comments what you think when you hear OG. Like Blanche's OG, Tara's OG. Samara's OG. Right, okay. Okay. So we're a original gangster. Is it because we're like Gen X? Is that why we think that? Bitch, I had a whole Mandela effect moment. I said something about being OG, and they're like, yeah, on God. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, that's what that means. I'm like, you know that face where you look off to the side and you question everything you ever thought you knew about anything? OG is original gangsta. Isn't that from a song? We were raised on Biggie Smalls and Tupac. She just said, no, they're just wrong. I agree. I agree with that a lot in the last couple of days. You're just like, wow, you're just wrong. Wrong. I have the Hush Tarot out, so I guess that we're going to do that. I love the Hush cards because they are like, if you could imagine the imagery of these cards, it's like the things that you would see lying on the floor of a forest. You all the way down at floor level. So you're miniature, like fairy size. Is it Master P? Snoop Dogg, all them. Oh, whoa. Somebody said something to me the other day and I just looked at it. They were like saying I was being extra or whatever. And I just was like, turn down for what? And meant it. And they did that face. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? Does no one understand me? Turn down for what? Oh, no. Something about the Rough Riders go. Okay. At least, see, that's why I love this tribe. Listen to me. The amount of how tired I am right now is not even comprehensible, but I needed my people. This is my whole point. This is why I fucking do this. Because that's how Rough Riders roll. What did I say? Take a stroll? Yeah, we're there now. The Rough Riders are now strolling. We no longer roll. Turn down for what? Fun. I think I have one slot left for the mukbang this summer. If you have got your slot, you should have an email from me. Some of you I texted. There was one of you that is from is international. So we're going to need to have a conversation about time zones. And while you're at it, why don't you tell me where the moon is where you are? I'm sorry, I didn't check your name. Also, I wouldn't call you out like that on live anyways. If it was one of you. It was one of you. The one that's international. Where's the moon at? Where you're at? Also, you have to email me because I apparently can't text you. In here, I thought that my fancy iPad that was unnecessarily too advanced could do all the things, but it apparently cannot. Like, send an international text. Lame. What's up, Colby? Colby cracks me up. Colby, I laughed about that joke for hours. Like 4 hours. It's so funny. Out of fucking nowhere. Okay, Colby is OG Raven. All right, he's one of our wolf pack. All right, we don't have many of them. Out of nowhere, texted me. He's like, hey, so I found this book for you. You need to read it. I'm like, okay, sure. Like, what book? Like, I thought we were being serious. It's a book called Hodor. And it's all about Hodor from the Game of Thrones, written about and for and by Hodor. And then and I'm like, oh my God, yay, like a side story. I can't wait to read it, whatever. And then he said, I read the first chapter. It was fucking fire. I'm like, nuh-uh, what is it? Sends me the first page and it says Hodor, 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 Hodor. Do you get it? Because Hodor. Hodor. Hold the door, man. That was traumatizing. Well, I'm glad you're OG Loca. Can we move on? 9 of Pentacles. Come on. Curiouser and curiouser. How about I look at the story before I get more cards? 9 of Pentacles is typically a single or abundant person. Page of Rods is typically a passionate message of some sort. And it would seem that the message leaves you with a choice, a judgment call to make. What else do you think the 5 of Swords is besides betrayal? I've always said that's betrayal. 4 of Swords is healing. 6 of Swords is moving on. What's the in-between place from moving on and healing? What happens in that circle of time? Because if the 4 of Swords is when you do the actual healing, and the 6 of Swords, you're in the boat moving on, what happens in the 5 of Swords place? Why does it have to be betrayal? Something here leaves you feeling confused and like you want to snuggle up with your security blanket, whatever that means. What does that mean? Tell me about I want to know why you feel that way. King of Swords, Page of Swords. Feels like, well, it's a King of Swords that's doing the reaching out. It feels like I'm home. You're, I don't know, but you want your security blanket. You just want it for whatever purpose. What is the, I still want to get to the, what happens in the 5 of Swords place? I'll see. The Empress. They reach out to the Empress. 4 of Wands. The Fool. That's my point. It feels like I'm home. They don't get you. Ace of Cups. They get that much. Ace of Cups. That's for sure. That means, you know, there's feelings there. But there's something here that's like, because look, the reason I like went like that right at the beginning is because look at how this is a single person. Look at how they're standing. And that birdie said something and they're like, now they're standing there with their hand on their hip like, what kind of fuckery is this? You've made me miss the slick Ricky. You thought I didn't love you when I did. Can't believe you played me out like that, yeah. But it doesn't feel like it's that many words. It feels like it's 2 words. And you're all, I don't know what to do. Okay, so now let's talk about it. What is the secret in between place? That 5 of Swords. Is it betrayal, like I normally say, or what else could it be? This is your bear, your boss, your chief, your judge. They're extremely protective, and they're a swan of yours. Gross. If you're not clear on the swans, that's the one, a pair of things, a deep soul connection, the soulmate, and faith. They're very gentle with you, but you drive them fucking bonkers. Ravens be like. Because there's something here about them seeing something on the internet and they're like, oh. Just like, bitch. Like I think that maybe if you post things, okay, or say things or be a certain way, that obviously it's about them. Do you know people like that in your life where you just post something that you see and you're like, yeah. And then clearly it's about them. But I mean, if the shoe fits, right? They're like, bitch. Probably because it hits a nerve. It's accurate, right? So the in-between place is fully healed but not ready to move forward. It's purgatory. And they're like, the fuck is wrong with you? And you're like, I don't like Groundhog's Day. It's lame. What else am I supposed to say about that? They're like, bow, but she's a crazy bitch, but she's so good I'm on top of it. Wheel of Fortune. The Empress. You're driving them bonkers. The fuck is your problem? And your problem is, I don't like the purgatory of 5 of Swords. And if you have never heard the word purgatory before, it's a religious thing, but I'm using it facetiously, meaning like, for example, Groundhog's Day. There's no forward movement because someone is fully healed, but they're not like in the forward moving place, and it's kind of fuckery is this? You've made me miss the slick Ricky. You're driving them bonkers. All right, so what happens like from this ball of potential energy? They're like, knowing that they have to be brave. There's something about that that's really important. Ouch. This person could have like crazy blue eyes, like crazy, crazy, crazy blue eyes. It feels like they're like, come here. This person could have a lot of fire in their chart, or they might like have a fireplace, or just be really masculine. This is the one with the crazy blue eyes. Their eyes are so stinking blue. Can you see that in those cards? These cards are really old. But look at how mad. They're like, sit down. Talk. Kind of fuckery is this? And you tell them whatever. But you might stutter a little because that's not really your only problem. I mean, certainly it's a thorn in your side, the not moving forward, but also not moving backward place. However, the collective, I've seen the collective several times. You might tell them about things, people around you, kids, whatever, and you're like, you basically vent, word vomit. What do they say? Something about temperance, the emperor and fucking stupid temperance, ace of swords. It feels like, oh. Feels like, why didn't I put that together? Duh, obviously. It feels like they're like, dude, bruh, duh. They're like, I guess they feel like they should know you well enough to know that that's what was wrong. Because that's what always is wrong with you. And you may have tried to mention it and they're just, I don't know, not paying attention or not whatever. And they're like, oh, they get it. I feel like the 5 changes. Everything shifts after that because light bulb, ace of swords. Right, my point. And it does, those eyes are crazy blue. I love blue eyes. All right, let's see what else. Ecstasis. You've been on my mind, and I grow fonder every day. Cause I've been here before, and every feeling, every word, and I've imagined it all. You'll never know if you'll never try to forgive your past and simply be mine. Yeah. I don't want to like yell and sing, but I want to yell and sing. One and only. Look at this. Look at this lineup. It makes my heart want to sing. First of all, ecstasis is like, have you seen I think it's the 4th Twilight movie, Breaking Dawn 2, when they get to hook up without having to worry about breaking each other for the first time, and she leans up and there's all those lights and little stars and all of the glee in the background. That's what this moment feels like. But it's like these 2 moon children, they're finally coming together on the same page. They are like, it'll be the Retriever talks about loyalty too, and devotion, and the office of unclaimed property. There's something here where these two come together. Dare you to let me be you one and only. Promise I'm worth it. But this one over here, and crazy, we got Grim right when I started this part. Okay, that's Tomcat. It's like you got a Tomcat howling around your house, except when the two of you come together, it's a much bigger deal. For whatever reason. That's crazy. That's crazy how loud that fucking cat is. All right. That is, who is this? Mike the Biomancer. I mean, we do these stories so many times. I don't want to sit here and go through all the attributes of Mike the Biomancer. Do you remember who this one is? All right. They could have, you might just like their nose. They could have, you know, olfactory issues. They could have a mole. They could have their hair pulled back. They could have wrinkly eyes, whatever. They could have bags under their eyes because they're tired. Who is this? There's messages and clues everywhere. Well, if they're a bear of yours, they could be crazy, like rah, hairy. They could have a beard. It's complicated. What do they want? Who are they? The Tower, Temperance, Ten of Pentacles, Justice, Two of Cups. Four of Wands, the Fool. Six of Cups. When this goes on, you could be laying on your side like that. You might be watching TV or looking at something or whatever. This could be like 10, 11 o'clock, something like that. Somebody could be in their late 30s, early 40s. But this is the Moon's children. These two come together like whoosh, on purpose because they're a perfect match. It's like there's only two of them in the world, and there's a masculine and a feminine. And when they interact together, it is crazy big emotion. It's not even emotion, it's sensation. The chemistry is out of this world because they are from, both of them are from out of this world. It's like two avatars. Are we back there again? Are we having the avatar talk and how fucking realistic that potentially is? Two avatars. Let me back up. Two people in some kind of wacky Aquarian spaceship have their consciousnesses plugged in to an avatar that is playing out through your eyes, right? So what you see in front of you is actually the game, and you're in it just like virtual reality. And you have and you're living your life and they're living their life, and you guys come together often. I heard often, or more often than not. And your guys' energy like creates waves, ripples. there could be some face grabbing in a good way. The sun in a really good way. Somebody could be sitting up by a window. They might have a big like bracelet on and they're just leaned up against it. It's like somebody walks in, they could have like a choker on or like lace or something like that. And that's this moment where these two come together. And then what happens? Fun. Weird. Yeah, well, there's that. See? I mean, these cards aren't even supposed to be in this stack, but it's essentially, that's what I mean. Somebody could be wearing red. And they're just sitting there waiting. The Emperor. This person is like putty in your hands. Absolute putty. And you're putty in their hands too. Ten of Cups. You may hand them something like, here, keep this. I want you to keep it or something like that. It's Ten of Cups. There's like a big hug or whatever, and and it was good. But I think what the whole point of what I'm getting at here, I mean, I want to say something fantastical and Libra and like, oh, it's the moon's children finally coming back together. Doesn't that sound nice? But really, it's someone in your life whom you sometimes vibe with so hard that it's like you two are the only two people that exist. And you have a smashing of energy that is awesome. And it charges you back up. If you were decharged or uncharged or something like that, you get recharged on account of interacting with your avatar buddy. It's like it's a rule in your avatar game that every so often you have to go and plug in with this person. Like on the movie Avatar where they take their tail and they plug it in. And that's how they fly around and have more strength, and they become like a unit of awesome by way of electrodes and shit. You following me? Terry Haley from Sugar Shack, what's up? Absolutely not, Zen. Recharging your I was gonna say recharging your soulmate, and all the fairies flew out everywhere. That's effing crazy. Hey, listen, I am still on a search through my own videos for orbs. So if you, and because people seem to like those as shorts, so if you're watching any of my old shit and you see one, can you mark down what time it is? And then actually, if you just comment in the video, I'll get the notification for that. You don't have to privately email me. I mean, unless you want to DM me. Be glad to hear from you. But if you don't want to take that much effort, just be like, hey, look at comment under the video. And then YouTube Studio will send me a notification. I would very much appreciate it. Plus, they're fun. In case you were curious. This is like tomorrow morning. There's so many people. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you might how else do I explain this? Something shocking happens here. It just feels like the unlikeliest of characters. I don't know what I mean by that. What's the ball of energy? There's so many people in this scenario. Happy. Something happens. How do I explain it? Okay, so picture this, right? Picture this. You're sitting in a whole group of people, and this one Romeo character, it feels like, you know, I don't know any modern stories. It feels like a Cinderella moment in one way or another, where feels like nobody puts baby in the corner. That's what it feels like. Maybe somebody can see. I don't really know how else to explain it. I don't know who you are, the person that's listening in the scenario, but there's a group of people. And one person is like, I don't know what they're doing, minding their own business. I don't fucking know. But they are. And somebody walks up like nobody puts baby in the corner. And then you go out and like dance your jig and perform and happy. It comes with a letter. Number 6-1 might be relevant. There's your swans. That's my point. It feels like nobody puts baby in the corner. And you're all, well, I'm running out of juice, okay? I feel like I'm like stuttering out of my, glitching out. I don't know why that's so shocking to me that somebody would walk up and be like, you don't get, I mean, what was the scenario when he said no one puts baby in the corner? She was told she wasn't allowed to and go sit down, right? You're not going to dance with the riffraff or something like that. And they just, that's crazy. All right. And this is going to be right before the next tarot story, if I can get one. This says unconscious power. You might focus really, really hard on something and some thing lights up. Like, have you ever tried to focus really hard on the answer to something or try to figure something out and you're like, yo, spirit guides, why you gotta be so cryptic? Also, don't smite me. Can you just help a sister out? Like, I can whole ass hear you. What's the answer? Say the answer. And it feels like, you know, they're like, well, that we're not supposed. See, that's the thing. Guides and angels are all, well, we, you know, aren't going to step in unless you ask for help. And you're like, okay, help me. And they give you some kind of, you know, white rabbit. And you're like, no, 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 no. Just the answer would be good. Except I don't think that's the way it works. Right? Or maybe they're trying to give you the answer and something glitches out right before you can hear it. That used to happen when I was first like really starting to see my main guide. Okay. I would ask her a question. She would, but I would be in meditation, right? So I could see. And I would ask her a question. She would start to give me an answer and then I would come out of it. So I would hear like the very first, like the first 2 or 3 words in the answer. And then I'm like, what? And then it would go away. And it took a long time to grow that muscle. You know what I mean? The Fool. Death. I feel like somehow or other you get your answer. And it's like, sometimes I hate using these same cards over and over again because I don't want to keep telling the same story, right? Because it doesn't always have to just be about a dude. What is the, first of all, what are we trying to find the answer to? The Ace of Swords. You want the truth about something? The Fool, again. 6 of Wands. I think what I just saw there, okay, I'm like, truth about what? There was all the confusion cards. So for however that resonates in your life, you're trying to talk to spirit or get the answer or search really deep for whatever. And you're like, tell me or explain it to me or something. Long story short, you get your answer. All right, let's do, I want to flip a coin. I found the coin that Mary sent me. Ask a question for yes or no. I got yes. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there. I'll be back on tomorrow for a moons at some point. And I probably should do Sag. And I'm not really sure. We'll find out. Okay. I'll be back tomorrow. Just make sure you hit that like and subscribe bell so that you will know when we're online. Otherwise, come hang out with us all day long on The Nest, which is on Facebook. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm tired.